and you're watching the History Fella channel. In today's video, we're looking at Karl Donitz. Karl Donitz was born on the 16th of September 1891 and would die on the 24th of December 1980. Donitz was a German admiral who briefly succeeded Adolf Hitler as head of state in May 1945, holding the position until the dissolution of the Flensburg government following Germany's unconditional surrender to the Allies days later. As Supreme Commander of the Navy beginning in 1943, he played a major role in the naval history of World War II. He began his career in the Imperial German Navy before World War I in 1918. In 1918, he was commanding UB-68 and was taken prisoner of war by British forces. While in a POW camp, he formulated what he later called Rudeltaktik, commonly called Wolf Pack. By the start of the Second World War, Donitz was Supreme Commander of the Kriegsmarine U-boat arm. In January 1943, Donitz achieved the rank of Grand Admiral and replaced Grand Admiral Erich Raeder as the Commander-in-Chief of the Navy. Donitz was the main enemy of the Allied naval forces in the Battle of the Atlantic. From 1939 to 1943, the U-boats fought effectively but lost the initiative from May 1943. Donitz ordered his submarines into battle until 1945 to relieve the pressure on other branches of the Wehrmacht. 648 U-boats were lost, 429 with no survivors. Furthermore, of these, 215 were lost on their first patrol. Around 30 to 40,000 men who served in the U-boats perished. On the 30th of April 1945, after the suicide of Adolf Hitler, and in accordance with his last will and testament, Donitz was named Hitler's successor as the head of state, in which became known as Goebbels' cabinet. After his second-in-command, Joseph Goebbels, until Goebbels' suicide led to Donitz's cabinet being reformed into the Flensburg government. On the 7th of May 1945, he ordered Alfred Jodl, Chief of Operations Staff of the Oberkommando der Wehrmacht, to sign the German instruments of surrender in Reims, France, formally ending World War II in Europe. Donitz remained as head of the government with the titles of President of Germany and the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces until it was dissolved by the Allied powers, de facto, on the 23rd of May and de jure on the 5th of June. By his own admission, Donitz was a dedicated Nazi and supporter of Hitler. Following the war, he was indicted as a major war criminal at the Nuremberg trials on 3 counts: conspiracy to commit crimes against peace, war crimes, and crimes against humanity, planning, initiating, and waging wars of aggression, and crimes against the laws of war. He was found not guilty of committing crimes against humanity, but guilty of committing crimes against peace and war crimes against the laws of war. He was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment, and after his release he lived in a village near Hamburg until his death in 1980 after a prolonged illness.